You know what? Okay, this is a sidebar into a topic that we wanted to just touch on for a little bit.
Yes.
Kim Jong Un. His sister.
Speaking of North Korea, right.
Speaking of North Korea is, I don't know her exact title, something the propaganda, mission of propaganda, something like that.
Representative, let me see.
She'll look it up. I'll tell you the story. So she is going to the Olympics, and it's the first time that a member of Kim Jong Un's family is crossing the border. That's big. Second, she's bringing with her a tribe of women whose job is to spread this positive propaganda about North Korea to make people think that it is this wonderful place to be. How do you guys feel about that? I think it's interesting. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough to know if we have people in America that do that, except for our missionaries and people who go out and try to speak positivity into the world.
Right.
I don't know of another nation that does this. Maybe they do. I'm curious.
Well, Pyongyang notified Seoul, right, that Kim Yo Jong,
yes,
again, this is the 30-year-old sister, would be accompanying Kim Young Nam, who is North Korea's nominal head of state, along with 2 other senior officials. The 2 other officials are, it goes on to say their name, it's the chairman of the National Sports Guidance Committee, and then the head of North's agency in charge of inter-Korean affairs. The statement was the first confirmation a member of North Korea's ruling family would be included. So this is pretty new.
that is new.
Analysts said that the move showed that her activities were more substantive and more important than previously thought. She is now believed to be one of Kim Jong Un's closest confidants. The siblings were born to the same mother, Ko Young-hui. So same mom.
Interesting.
I just found this to be an interesting topic because it came up in the news today,
It did.
in the news cycle. And as I'm going through the news this morning before the show, I thought, oh, you know, we talk about here in our country, it's the year of the woman. You're seeing females much more in power. Yesterday we talked about the story. The head of PepsiCo is a female.
Yep.
When it comes to Uber, one of the heads is a female. There's a lot of those stories happening right now. And then all of a sudden you bring up a leading female on the propaganda side of a country that we do not get along with, North Korea. And I just found it interesting because it's that topic of power, female power, and in different cultures. So I just want to dig more, and this is ahead of the show tomorrow. It's only 8:30 now, so we've only been on the show, I haven't had time. But, you know, what is the role of a woman in North Korea? I think it's probably pretty simple to assume things and to answer that, but when you're part of the Kim Jong Un regime, what does that mean? And at 30 years old, what has she accomplished in her own country? I'm not saying that it's something that we look to and aspire to want to be as a female of that kind of power.
Curious.
But it's still a female in power in a country like North Korea. And I'm just intrigued by this. And she's only 30 years old.
Tell me what you think about this. I see this delegation of women that she is bringing over to the Olympics as this military PR, I would call them.
Propaganda, right.
Yes. They're coming into a country to promote all the positivity. That's like us going out there and saying, we are the richest nation. Tell me if this sounds familiar. We are the richest nation. Everything we do, we have to do hugely, bigly. We need to make America great again, and we're going to send out a lot of people to do it.
Kim
It
Jong
seems
Un
like
and
there are
Trump
some
have been
interesting
compared.
parallels there that maybe would be interesting fodder for people, is all I'm saying. We can talk about it tomorrow. I want to know how people feel about this so that I can include it in our conversation tomorrow.
Are you intrigued as we are? I don't know if it's because we're 2 females here, but whenever you hear like a female in power story, your antenna goes up because you just are interested to know, like, across different cultures, what does female mean, especially in 2018, and to see that she's going across the border into South Korea for the Olympics, where she would then be the one that I would imagine, since she's head of propaganda, was she in charge of that decision, or at least maybe the woman in power, to say, I want both North Korea and South Korea to get along, at least for the Olympics, and walk under the same flag? They created, you know, there's a new flag to show the unity, and is that its own flex of power, flex of muscle?
Ooh, interesting, though, about flexing of muscles. And you were talking about how this morning in the 5 o'clock show, this was a show of Donald Trump trying to strengthen or show his muscles by having this military parade. An interesting comment that came up from Wesley, get this, one more thought. This is right before the midterms. Makes me wonder. We all love the U.S. We all know we're the best. We don't need to be boastful. So what is he trying to do?
Is this a
chance?
chance?
Play?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think when it comes to, you think about the holidays we've just talked about, Veterans Day, you think about 4th of July, think about those days and think about when you wake up, and at least when I come to work, like, you feel very patriotic in those moments.
Always, yeah.
And you always feel like, despite whatever's going on and despite what side of the aisle we're on, like, God bless America. Yep. And it's just that natural feeling of being an American and celebrating those days. So on becoming part of that, like trying to include another day where it is all about that, another like another 4th of July on steroids, essentially.
Right.
How could that bring everyone together in President Trump's strategy to obviously want to win at the midterms? I mean, it could be part of that. I don't know if
maybe
people are going to change their feelings because of one day and one parade, or is this simply something completely unrelated and this is about flexing?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about this side of it before, about this being a way to unify the country. He needs to work on that. And military is something that everyone
rallies behind.
I think that they can support that. At least it trends the most every time there's a story about the military. And so you wonder, is he just as good at marketing as
a businessman?
Exactly, as he is in business. I think it's interesting. Anywho, we have lots of comments coming in, and a lot of them about the motivation behind this.
Okay.
So we can continue this conversation. Miriam, that's my mom, said,
Love loyal mama.
We know the motivation. Trump wanting to show the Koreans that his military is bigger. That's pathetic.
Okay.
While Paul says, it's a great place, I think America is what he's talking about, but once you get there, you better hit leave because they shoot you. Oh, interesting. This actually ties into our second story.
Right.
I think that's what you're talking about, Paul, and how we have an issue with our police force and the force that they show when it comes to young Black people in this country. And we have the Black Lives Matter movement and dealing with the separation between what is right as a police officer, what keeps you safe, what keeps the people safe, and what is towing the line and going a little bit too far. And so if we do want to, we can go into our second story.
So what was he saying? This last comment, he was saying that it's just going to be
it's a great
huge
place, but once you get
event.
there, you better hit leave because they'll shoot you. And so I didn't know exactly how he meant that. And if you want to comment back, Paul.
to further explain that. But